In the news tonight, state government reaffirms commitment to top-notch security programs. Increasing rate of cancer in focus as the world marks Cancer Day today. UNTH ready to dispose 450 unclaimed corpses dumped for over 9 years. And on the foreign scene, Pope Francis arrives UAE, becoming the first Catholic pontiff to visit the Arab Peninsula. Good evening and thanks for joining us on ABS Television News. I am Franklin Onyekachi. Now the news in details. The Anambra state government has reaffirmed increased commitment and massive support to security agencies in the state. Governor Willie Obiano hosted this at St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church, Oka, during a Thanksgiving Mass in honor of the State Director of Department of State Security, DSS, Mr. Yusuf Isiaku, emphasized that the state is already embarking on aggressive mobilization of action plans to maintain the lofty heights as the most secure state in the country. Government House correspondent Ejike Abana has more.
The governor, while felicitating with Mr. Isiaku, pointed out that his gratitude to God is that all the security chiefs working under him have gotten promotion, stressing that it lays credence to the security breakthroughs in the state.
Police, SSS, civil defense, immigration, all of them, they earn promotion under me. So it's because we are doing a great work, that's why you earn the promotion. You know, I did the right thing by thanking God first, you know, because it's only God that promotes. Thank you very much.
Speaking to the ABS, the senator representing Anambra Central at the National Assembly, Chief Victor Ume, noted that Anambra has consistently demonstrated ingenuity in terms of security, saying that it is part of the reason he is going to the Senate to support the governor's commitment and ingenuity in governance.
And only when people begin to participate in choosing their leaders, and they will be able to get credible leadership and representation. If you don't vote, we have nothing to complain about. So the more the people come out to vote, the better the chances of getting a credible person to be in government, either as an executive government or an executive government.
The member representing Anambra West at the State Assembly, Mr. Uchenna Okafor, reiterated the support of his people to the present administration, especially in peace brokerage in such communities, stressing that it is imperative to stand behind all ABGA candidates at the general elections to guarantee sustenance.
But it is this Obiano's administration that my people started having the impact of government through agricultural revolution, security, roads, electricity, water, everywhere. Appointment of commissioner. Do you know that I have now had commissioner for a very long time? More than 12 years. But Obiano gave us a commissioner. So what am I talking? We don't need any other thing. That is why all our people are applicants. And we are going to say it. Anambra is going to be the first in this coming election.
Mr. Isiaku was full of gratitude to God and to those who attended the Thanksgiving and called on God to bless everyone.
For me, I have reached the highest rank of the service, so I pray for all of you guys for more promotion. So I want to thank you. To serve, I receive it on behalf of myself, my deputy, who is also promoted, and all my staff who were promoted. So those of you promoted, you can just rise.
Earlier in a homily, a visiting priest, Reverend Father Kingsley Ibe, who explained the concept of truth, said that the word of God is truth and solid foundation, calling on Christians to say the truth at all times, whether palatable or not. Thanksgiving and renditions by the choir featured at the event, attended by dignitaries including the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solochukwu Lobelo, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Primus Odele, Works Commissioner, Engineer Marcel Ifejiofor, Oil Mogul, Prince Arthur Eze, among others, across political and religious divides. From St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church, Oka, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The temporary Anambra State Judiciary High Court of Justice and Anambra Judicial Division at Neni has been officially commissioned by the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Peter Umadi. Chidema Ikanyon is standing by with the report.
The court building comprised of 2 courtrooms, process section, cash section, offices, and about 22 staff. Appreciating the state government for its efforts and support to the state judiciary, Justice Umadi noted that Governor Willie Obiano has never interfered with the activities of the state judiciary. He went further to state that the court is not meant for the Neni community alone, but for the entire Aniocha and also others who wish to seek justice from there, urging the judges to administer justice based on honesty, transparency, and fear of God.
Pray that all men and women who come into this court hall will receive justice according to law. This court hall to the glory of God and for the benefit of mankind.
The chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Aniocha Branch, Chief J.N. Okongwu, lauded the judicial arm of government and pleaded with legal practitioners that are indigents of Aniocha to come back home and practice as a conducive environment has been made available.
We have great lawyers within the judicial as practicing outside. We are proud of it. And I want to make this plea to all of them to come and support this judicial division.
Earlier in his welcome address, the President General, Neni Town Union, Chief Chukwu Dembonu, said he looks forward to the things the court will bring to Aniocha, particularly to Neni, and urged the Chief Judge to consider employing more staff to enable the court to discharge its duties effectively.
Many people are sincerely happy to welcome the entire judiciary of Anambra State, ably led by the State Chief Judge. We are indeed celebrating the opportunity of being part of that sacrifice to afford cheaper and easier accessibility to justice to all and sundry in the state, no matter the remoteness of the location or residency.
The Chief Judge will on Wednesday be on inspection tour to the permanent site to oversee the construction project. Those who witnessed the commissioning included the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of the state, Dr. Mrs. Ujunwogu, state government functionary, members of the National Council for Women's Society, NCWS, members of the Nigerian Bar Association, Aniocha Chapter, community leaders of Neni, security agencies, amongst others. There were also song rendition by staff of the High Court, official commissioning of the Judicial Division led by Justice Umadi, and inspection of the court building. And we believe that with this, good things, commercialization has come to Neni community. From Neni in Aniocha Council area, I am Chidema Ikanyon reporting for ABS News.
The world today is observing the Day of Cancer. It is observed on the 4th of February every year to help save millions of preventable deaths by raising awareness about cancer and pressing on governments across the world to take action against the disease. Correspondent Ogochukwu Okeke reports on the International Day, now taking from here.
Also targets the public through global communications and encourages policymakers to make cancer a political priority. According to statistics, cancer is second leading cause of death in the world. Speaking on the dangers of cancer, the Executive Secretary, Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Mrs. Choma Eze-Enyimulu, explained that benign cancer is a tumor that can be removed or cured, while malignant cancer are harmful to patients and has different treatment modalities and is also curable. She further advised the public to always visit a specialist, better still, an oncologist for early detection.
For breast cancer, the risk factor includes positive family history. That means in the woman who there has been cancer, either in the mother or the sister, is likely to develop cancer. So she should also, be on the watch out and take preventive measures. So you also have risk factors like smoking, consumption of alcohol.
Reacting, a medical doctor and traditional ruler of Ifitedunu, Igwe Chukwuemeka Iluno, described cancer as an abnormal multiplication of cells in the body to a stage where it becomes uncontrollable.
Normal human body contains a lot of cells, and there are different types of cells, not just one type. And naturally, the cells undergo multiplication as a normal thing in life. If any of the cells suddenly goes haywire in this multiplication process and starts multiplying uncontrollably, it is said to have gone cancerous.
A renowned pharmacist, Sir George Ezenwa, on his part, reiterated that cancer can be reduced through vaccination against certain infectious diseases, eating plenty of vegetables, fruits and whole grains, avoiding too much sunlight exposure and self-medication, maintaining an healthy weight, among others.
Cancer is a medical problem where an organ or a tissue within the body is not doing what the cell is supposed to be doing. Some drugs that can induce cancer. You understand? So these are the things.
The theme for 2019 World Cancer Day, which is I Am and I Will, portrays that everybody has a part to play in the prevention and management of cancer to those affected, either by providing funds or psychological encouragement because of the debilitating ailment.
People of Adaziani, Adazienu and Ichida communities in Anocha Council area have resolved to re-elect the member representing Anocha, Njikoka and Dunukofia Federal Constituency, Dr. Dozie Nwankwo, by giving their 100% vote to the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, in this month's general elections. The people unanimously made the decision when the honorable member visited the communities. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
During the visits, members of the community's love for the honorable member was not hidden as they joyfully welcomed him as both women and youth groups chanted solidarity songs for him, announcing his triumph in the election. Addressing people of the areas, Dr. Nwankwo, who appreciated them for massively supporting him during the first term, assured to redouble his achievements for the constituency if re-elected.
No chugum ma ife dia ene obi magara chiku yala yikike inete ndi nne na nne na aniga na emia
Speaking, the member representing Anocha 1 constituency in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Azubike Okoye, said the people of the area have no better choice than Dr. Nwankwo, who according to him has achieved much for the people of his constituency.
Makishie kanjayo ndada zani nine unu kwado dozie nwa ọgbọ na nke ojeburu and unu ga-akwade na nke ọ ga-eje.
Responding, some leaders of thought in the communities, Engineer Sere Bob Okoye, Engineer Chukwuma Ezadem, and Chief Ben Okoli thanked Dr. Nwankwo on quality representation given them at the Federal House and assured him of the massive vote of the people for continuity.
And the one that election. With the capacity, if I don't know the more job. I make one night worker, William Duffy. I can't you work with Tata. But I don't know if you are Okuni, Yoma, the Amma, Hoga Forzo. So now one night work at the Melon Kai, Fiananya. I'm an honest young dog and Megaka.
Don't want include that tonight or the Nagai to Shona or your tent cabo. No, they don't move them while you make a man cabo. Casina came down on a bear.
Speaking on behalf of the women, the community's woman leaders, Mrs. Alice Mojeku of Adaziani, her Adazienu counterpart, Mrs. Cecilia Opalo Biako, and that of Ichida, Lady Ngozi Obiekwe, promised the honorable member of their total support in the election and prayed God to grant him victory. Commissioning of borehole facility drilled by Dr. Wankwo for the people of Adazienu community at the Civic Center and testimonies from beneficiaries of his interventions in the constituency featured at the event. From Ichida in Anocha Council area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo reporting for ABS News.
The University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital has expressed its decision to dispose 450 corpses abandoned in the hospital since 2010. Chief Medical Director Dr. Christopher Amma, who spoke in an interview, said that most of the corpses were dumped by operatives of the Enugu State Police Command, while a few of them were those that died in the hospital, but because of some unknown reasons, their relations did not ask for the bodies. Amma called on those who have relations among the dead persons to come and collect the bodies free of charge. And on the foreign scene, Pope Francis, the first pontiff to set foot on the peninsula where Islam was born, met United Arab Emirates leaders in Abu Dhabi today in a historic trip he hopes will foster peace through religious dialogue. Arriving at the sprawling presidential palace with its many domes of gold and glass, the Pope was greeted with a flyover by UAE Air Force jets spewing out plumes of smoke in yellow and white, the colors of the Vatican flag. He rode to the main courtyard in a small car escorted by a dozen flag-bearing Emirati guards on horseback. He shunned bulletproof cars or limousines since the start of his papacy. The visit takes place in the shadow of the war in Yemen, the poorest Arabian Peninsula nation, where the UAE military has a leading role in a Saudi-led coalition fighting on the side of the internationally recognized Yemeni government that was ousted by the Iran-allied Houthi group. The Idigo dynasty of Iro-Kechi royal family, Aguleri royal cabinet, and Ndiche have announced the homeward journey into eternity of His Royal Highness Eze Christopher Nwabunwanne Idigo Igwe Aguleri, announcing the sojourn at the Ogalagidi Palace, Aguleri, Anambra East Local Government Area. The Prime Minister, Chief Henry Manafa, on behalf of Aguleri Traditional Council, said that Aguleri community and friends are mourning. Amaka Chibuzokoye has the details.
He stated that Eze Christopher Idigo Ogalagidi the Fourth of Aguleri was the custodian of the culture and tradition of the ancient kingdom of Aguleri, Otunigbo. The Prime Minister disclosed that Igwe Idigo proceeded on the journey on 11th of January 2019 at the 0400 hour.
The Aguleri Royal Cabinet, Igwe in Council, the Ndiche Aguleri and the Aguleri Community Assembly wish to formally inform you of the homeward journey into eternity of His Royal Highness Eze Christopher Nwabunwanne the Fourth, Ogalagidi II, Igwe of Aguleri. He was the custodian of the culture and tradition of the ancient kingdom of Aguleri. The details of the rites heralding the event will be communicated to you in due course.
Igwe Ogalagidi had been on the throne for 24 years and aged 74. The announcement says that details of the rites heralding the event shall be communicated in due course. The chairman of Aguleri Royal Cabinet, Chief Dom Ndive, maintained that Idigo dynasty is the oldest dynasty in the east of the Niger and have performed 119 Ovala. It could be recalled that Eze Idigo performed his 2019 Ovala on 5th of January 2019. From Aguleri, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
The remains of late Lady Comfort Okonkwo have been laid to rest at her husband's compound, Umokbaluku Village, Ihite, in Orumba South Council area. Aged 76, the late Lady Comfort was a devout Christian, a lady of the Knight of St. Christopher in the Anglican Communion, and the mother of Commissioner for Environment, Architect Mike Okonkwo, and Managing Director of Fidelity Bank PLC, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo. Ngozi Obileri has the details.
Lady Comfort's burial service was attended by many clergymen, notable among whom were the Archbishop of Enugu Province of the Anglican Communion, the Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, the Bishop of Otukpo Diocese, the Right Reverend David Bello, as well as top government functionaries. In a burial service in her honor at St. John's Anglican Church, Ihite, the Anglican Bishop of Agwata Diocese, the Right Reverend Samuel Ezofo, who described the late Lady Comfort as having lived for Christ and said that it is appointed unto man to once die, after which judgment follows. Bishop Ezofo, whose message centered on 7 C's, urged Christians to remember that God will read out to them their lives on earth and endeavor to live above sin so as to gain eternity.
God is going to commend those who put their trust in Christ. God is going to commend those who live their lives the way He wanted them to live it. God is going to give them laurels. God is going to welcome them into His eternal kingdom.
While offering special prayers for the deceased family, Archbishop Chukwuma urged children of the deceased to take consolation in the good Christian life their mother lived and prayed God to grant the deceased eternal rest.
Protect them from all perils and dangers of the road and air. Prosper them, O Lord, in the cause, that they holding your mercy and praising you for your goodness here.
After the interment, condolence messages by friends and well-wishers followed, as many of them took turns to eulogize Lady Comfort. Top on the list of those who condoled with the deceased families was Prince Arthur Eze, who went down memory lane on his personal encounter with the deceased, praying God to rest her soul. Others, including the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. C. Don Adenoba, the State Chairman of ABGA, Sanobat Obi, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the ABS, Chief Uche Nwora, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Environment, Mr. Stanley Nkwoka, the Managing Director of ACTDA, Venerable Amechi Okwosa, among many others, appreciated the children of the deceased for taking care of their mother, saying that at a time like this, it will only be proper for them to rally round their own. Some children of the deceased, Mrs. Joy Ike, Mr. Emmanuel Okonkwo and Architect Mike Okonkwo, described their late mother as a peace-loving woman who lived for God and all who came in contact with her.
A wonderful woman, peaceful, loving, caregiver.
So I will miss her. In fact, I've started missing her since 2 months ago. So that is it.
My mother is a Christian woman that taught us well, and she touched many lives, and that is what's manifesting today.
Left to mourn her were 11 children, many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. From Umokbaluku Village in Ihite, Orumba South Council area, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
The remains of late Ichie Martin Chukwuemeka Ezuchu JP will be laid to rest at late Felix Ezuchu family compound, Umuachina Village, Ekulobia, Agwata local government area on Friday, 8 February 2019. A statement signed by Mr. Linus Ezuchu says late Chief Martin Ezuchu, Ichie Ezobiaro, Nwata Jiziako, a knight, was University of Benin Best Student of the Year 1983 and first Best Teacher, Federal Government Girls College, Owerri, 1987. He was also the first National Best Science Teacher in Nigerian Secondary Schools, 1990, and the most outstanding teacher, Imo State Ministry of Education, 1991, and a fellow Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, 2001. Condolences by in-laws hold on Saturday, 9th February 2019. And that report concludes our news bulletin for tonight. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website at www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABSRadioTelevision. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Now, the main points again. State government has reaffirmed commitment to top-notch security programs in the state. Increasing rate of cancer in focus as the world marks Cancer Day today. UNTH is ready to dispose 450 unclaimed corpses dumped for over 9 years. And we also told you that Pope Francis has arrived UAE, becoming the first Catholic pontiff to visit the Arab Peninsula. And that's the news. Thanks for watching. I am Franklin Onyekachi. Good night.